Your carry-on is packed perfectly. Everything you need for the trip, no checked bag fees, no waiting at baggage claim. You've used this bag 100 times. It's gone overhead on every major airline. It fits. You know it fits. Then the gate agent steps toward you before you even reach the door. That bag needs to be checked. You look at your bag, you look at the agent. I've never had a problem with this before. The agent holds up a metal sizer. It won't fit. And just like that, $26 in gate check fees, a delayed exit at your destination, and the sinking realization that the bag you trusted completely just failed you in the worst possible place. This isn't bad luck. It isn't a power-tripping gate agent. It's a systematic enforcement shift that airlines quietly rolled out across almost every major carrier starting in late 2025. New sizers, new measurement protocols, new authority given to gate staff to confiscate non-compliant bags with no appeals process and no exceptions. And the bags getting pulled aren't ancient, oversized relics from the 90s. They're popular, current, well-reviewed bags that millions of travelers are still buying and packing right now, completely unaware that 2026 changed the rules they were designed around. Here are the 7 carry-on traps that are sending bags to the cargo hold this year and what you need to know before you ever leave for the airport again. The most common bag getting pulled at gates in 2026 is one that technically passed every measurement its owner ever threw at it. It's the soft-sided carry-on with expandable panels, the kind with a zipper around the perimeter that adds an extra inch or two of packing capacity when you need it. Brilliant design, enormously popular, and now one of the most flagged bags in airport history. Here's the enforcement gap that's catching people. When the bag was purchased, it collapsed, 21 by 14 by 9, fits the spec. But soft-sided bags with expansion panels don't collapse when packed. Under pressure from folded clothes and shoes and toiletry bags, those panels push outward. The bag that measured correctly now measures over the limit full. And gate agents in 2026 are not measuring bags empty. They're placing them in the sizer as packed, as they actually are when handed over. And if the bag doesn't drop in cleanly, it doesn't go overhead. This catches people who have been using the same bag for years without incident because enforcement used to be inconsistent. One agent ignored it, another waved you through. But 2026 standardized the sizer protocol across most major domestic carriers. The measurement is now the measurement, not an estimate, not a judgment call. The bag either fits the sizer or it doesn't. Test your bag packed, not empty, before leaving home. Press it against a wall and measure its actual dimensions when full. If it's pushing past the limits, there are 2 options: pack less or switch to a rigid frame that physically cannot expand beyond its stated size. Backpacks became the dominant personal item of the last decade, and airlines spent most of that time tolerating them. Not anymore. What's unfolding in 2026 is a systematic reclassification of large travel backpacks from personal items into carry-ons, and the financial consequences of that reclassification are hitting travelers completely by surprise. The shift works like this. A backpack that measures 18 by 14 by 8 used to slide under the seat without comment. Now, at airlines that have updated their personal item policies, anything over a specific volume threshold, typically around 40 liters, is being reclassified as a carry-on, not a large personal item. A carry-on, which means if there's already a carry-on in the overhead bin, that backpack becomes the second carry-on nobody is allowed to have. The cruelty of this trap is its timing. It doesn't surface at check-in, where there might be options. It happens at the gate, when the flight is boarding and the overhead bins are already half full and agents are pulling bags from people who believed they'd followed every rule. Travelers with expensive laptop-loaded backpacks are being told to gate check them, with no guarantee of careful handling and no liability coverage for electronics damaged in cargo. Measure the backpack's actual dimensions before the next flight. Then call the airline and ask specifically where they draw the line between personal item and carry-on. Not what their website says, what their current gate-level enforcement policy is. Those are sometimes 2 very different answers. Hard-shell spinner bags with wheels and telescoping handles have been the gold standard of carry-on travel for a decade. Sleek, durable, easy to spot on a carousel, and now increasingly problematic at gate sizers because of a measurement convention that most travelers have never once thought about.
The wheels and handle housing add to the overall dimensions of the bag. A hard-shell carry-on advertised as 21 inches tall is 21 inches from base to lid, but the wheels underneath add another 1.5 inches. The handle housing on top adds another inch when retracted. The actual clearance needed at the gate sizer is closer to 24 inches, not 21, and the sizer doesn't care how the manufacturer labeled it.
Airlines have always technically measured bags in their fully extended, wheels-included form, but agents rarely enforced it at the gate for hardshell bags because the industry standard was to look the other way. That informal grace period is over at several major carriers. Their updated gate enforcement instructions now explicitly include wheels and handles in the measurement. Bags that have flown thousands of miles without a second glance are now failing sizers they would have cleared a year ago, because nothing about the bag changed. The enforcement did. When shopping for a hard-shell carry-on, look for total external dimensions, including wheels and handles, not just the bag body. If the manufacturer doesn't publish that number, measure it yourself in a store before buying. External attachments are the invisible tripwire that turns a compliant bag into a confiscated one in under 60 seconds. A jacket clipped to the outside handle, a gym bag looped over the telescoping grip, a reusable tote stuffed into an exterior pocket and hanging out slightly, a neck pillow snapped to the side. These additions feel harmless. They are anything but. Gate agents in 2026 are measuring bags as presented, including everything attached to them. That clipped jacket adds width. That looped gym bag adds girth. That slightly open pocket changes the entire profile. And the agent at the sizer is measuring what physically arrives at the sizer, not what the bag looks like packed neatly at home. This trap is particularly unforgiving because it creates the illusion of compliance right up until the moment it gets tested. The bag itself is fine. The bag with everything attached is not. Travelers are watching their objectively compliant carry-ons fail gate checks because of a water bottle in a side mesh pocket that pushed the bag 2 inches outside the sizer frame. 2 inches from a water bottle. The standard in 2026 is simple and absolute. Nothing can be attached to, hanging from, or protruding from a carry-on when it goes into the sizer. Pack everything inside. If it doesn't fit inside, it doesn't travel as a carry-on. Budget airline personal item policies have always been stricter than full-service carriers, but what shifted in 2026 is that full-service carriers are quietly adopting budget-level enforcement at the gate, even when their published policies haven't officially caught up. This creates a dangerous gap between what the website says and what the agent does. The scenario plays out like this. A traveler books with a legacy carrier. They check the personal item dimensions online. Their bag meets the stated requirements. They pack accordingly. At the gate, an agent flags the bag using a sizer that reflects the new internal enforcement guideline, not the published policy. The bag fails. The traveler pulls up the airline's website on their phone. The agent is unmoved. The sizer in their hand is their authority, not the web page on a screen. This is happening because airlines have updated their physical gate equipment without updating their consumer-facing websites to match. The enforcement is running ahead of the disclosure. There is no way to know until the moment a bag gets flagged with a flight actively boarding. The only real options left. Travelers who push back face mounting delays. Requests for supervisors are met with confirmation that the supervisor will agree. References to previous trips where the same bag flew without issue are dismissed entirely. Past compliance has no bearing on present enforcement. The gate in 2026 carries more authority than most passengers have ever had reason to test. And the travelers who discover that authority for the first time while holding a boarding pass with 3 minutes left are the ones paying the price for assumptions they didn't even know they were making. Here's what all this adds up to. The era of lenient, inconsistent, agent-dependent carry-on enforcement is finished. What replaced it is mechanical, standardized, and indifferent to loyalty status, trip history, or how reasonable your case sounds. The bags getting directed to cargo aren't obviously oversized. They're the bags in every travel YouTube video, every bestseller list, every airport shop display. And the people losing them at the gate aren't reckless packers. They're travelers who simply haven't been told that the ground shifted beneath them. 7 traps, expandable panels measured while packed, backpacks reclassified without announcement, hard shells measured wheels and all, attachments that push compliant bags over the line, budget enforcement hiding inside legacy carrier gates, a marketing label that protects no one, and gate authority that answers to no appeal. Walk into any one of these uninformed and the sizer wins. Walk in knowing what to look for and none of them touch you. Measure everything before you leave the house. Call the airline, not just the website. Go smaller than the limit, not right up to it. Strip the bag bare before the gate. And the next time you see airline approved on a tag, read it for exactly what it is. Before your next trip, forward this to someone who's still packing blind. The enforcement isn't slowing down, and neither should your preparation.